Hey everybody, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I am just having a blast doing these isolated vocal tracks and getting a chance to listen to them, to do an analysis of them, and a tutorial on the stuff that I grew up on. Now, maybe you didn't grow up on it, but you also think it's as epic and iconic and legendary as I do. Next up is More Than a Feeling by Boston. The singer, of course, is Brad Delp. And before I forget, I've done a version of this, so I will put that in the description so you could see how well I did compared to how well Brad did. And I want to break all this stuff down because I kind of got a chance to listen to it for the very first time, and I heard so many little nuances and crazy things that I never knew were actually there before. Now, there's some of it, which I'm going to talk to you guys about, I did know was there, but for the most part, again, it's just so epic just to have just the intimacy of the isolated vocal track from everybody from Freddie Mercury to Sebastian Bach to Klaus Meine of the Scorpions, Aretha Franklin, you name it, we've got it. And so before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel. That would be really cool. I have a singing course, and the course is called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. And we talk about how to get to all of these amazing vocal places. You can find it right here at kentamplinvocalacademy.com. And I have a singing forum there that is free. So if you're interested in learning how to sing, if you're already a singer, decent singer, or even an advanced singer, we have over 20,000 people in the singing forums with really good moderators where you can post your questions, you can post videos or audio clips to get free feedback. It's the coolest thing ever for singers. So anyway, with that I want to get started. Now, I want to point out a couple things before we do get started, and that's that sometimes things are not always as we've seen. So as I've broken down some of these, there's been some mystery where some vocals will seem, real crazy aggressive, and they're not really that aggressive. Some will be even more aggressive. Some will use a lot of reverb or effects. Some doesn't hardly use any at all. And sometimes that's just the nature of the isolated vocal track too. So we get them as we get them. We don't get the choice of, whether they're with effect or not. This one does have effect, and we're going to talk about it as we go. We're going to start with the first verse. Here we go.
I looked out this morning and the sun was gone. Turned on some music to start my day.
Now, let's just start there, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever tried to sing this song. And again, check out my version in the description because you'll see what I'm talking about. When I first started singing this song, I actually put a lot more energy and a lot more into it until I really listened to Brad's vocal. I'm going, God, he's got kind of bedroom voice. He's really soft. So it's, I looked up this morning and the sun was gone. Turned on some music to start my day. Right. So he's so gentle on it. And you kind of picture a guy walking out on his porch with a cup of coffee, and he's kind of looking outside and he's kind of waking up. And so you really get the intimacy of that feeling. You know what I mean? So let's listen to it one more time. Check it out. Here we go.
I looked out this morning and the sun was gone. Turned on some music to start my day.
Now, I'm going to rewind this one more time after this, but the odd thing, the odd bedfellow for me is, as much as it sounds like it was just him going through and just embellishing or being spontaneous about the line, he couldn't have been that spontaneous about the line because it's at least double tracked, if not triple tracked. Listen to all of the harmonization that comes along, the harmonic structure. You can hear the double track. Now, it's not just a doubler because you can hear the ghost of the vocal itself dropping a little bit. So listen closely again. So it's not as spontaneous as it seems. So it's kind of like a good actor that's going in and he's learned his parts and he's able to replicate, playing the act of that character multiple times in the song because of him owning the lyric. Okay, listen one more time. Check it out.
I looked out this morning and the sun was gone. Turned on some music to start my day.
Hear the doubler?
And lost myself in a familiar song. I closed my eyes and I slipped away.
Okay, now, when we listen back to that, so I'm listening to this, he kind of takes us from this real intimate, porch setting. And even though he has energy, as he goes in energy, when he says slipped away, you kind of feel like you're kind of dreaming and slipping away with him in the song. So he's really good at the intrigue of pulling you into his story, okay? I just want to go, so I lost myself in a familiar song. I closed my eyes and I slipped away. Right, and he goes through this whole thing here. Check it out. Listen closely.
And lost myself in a familiar song. I closed my eyes and I slipped away.
Right. Now, for me, when I was going through this and I sang my version, it was hard for me to not want to belt, way, way, that whole section. Yeah, I wanted to kind of like hit it, and I realized the nature of the song is really smooth and really gentle. So I had to be extra careful not to oversing. And, I like oversinging. I like singing heavy, but I also want to sing for the song and not just sing for me. I want to, pay tribute to the artist if I'm doing a cover or whatever it is, or the lyric, right? So let's continue. Here we go. By the way, I never knew that. Right? I know it was in there, but I always kind of thought it was a keyboard. Listen back. By the way, this isn't just to analyze the vocal. I also want to give a tutorial on the vocal, but I also want to talk about how it was recorded so we get, kind of everything in it. Check it out. So, I always just kind of thought there was like maybe a guitar in the background or something. I didn't really realize that was his vocal, a little ghost vocal in the background. So I thought that was kind of cool. Here we go. 1, 2.
It's more than a feeling. When I hear that old song they used to play, and I begin dreaming till I see my life walk away.
Cool. Now, if you listen, there is so much vocal production going on. It's kind of like listening to Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen or something. I mean, maybe not that extreme, but there's so much vocal. So you got the chorus, lead vocal come in, and it's multi-tracked. You can hear there's at least 2, maybe 3 vocals, and then there's a gob of background vocals. Now, here's one thing I want to say about this. So as we've been breaking this stuff down, what I think is really interesting is I used to think of this vocal having a lot of energy, right? A lot of, excitement to it. But it really doesn't. It's actually pretty laid back, and the excitement is coming from the track. Now, if you listen to the original version of this is important, guys, especially for you guys out there that are mix engineers or producers or just a vocalist wanting to know, hey, why does my track not sound like their track? Is that he's letting the band do all the work for the energy. So the band is buttressing or holding up like a ladder against a wall. It's holding up all of the energy for him to be able to sing really laid back, and then the band does all the work from an energetic standpoint, okay? So I want to point that out along the way. So as you're listening to it, the reason I bring this up is there's a tendency to remember it one way. So when you're going to replicate it or sing it, like when I first went to do it without actually listening to the track, I wanted to add more energy than was really there, and then it didn't have the same sweetness to the song. So we'll listen to this part one more time. I want to go right here. Listen. Sorry. Here we go.
It's more than a feeling.
So, more than a feeling. He's real gentle on it. Now, for you mixed voice guys, right? He's mixing the sound. He's not pulling up a lot of chest in the sound. He uses a lot of mixed voice, kind of like Mickey Thomas does, and a couple other people that are in a similar ilk at that time. But let's continue. Check it out.
And I begin dreaming till I see my life walk away.
Now, as he pulls back, you can really hear how gentle he was on it, because it tapers off so sensitive and so soft. Listen to the end of this taper. It's really interesting because you think, way! You think it's kind of like ending like that, but it's not. And it's pretty hard to do this, man. Check it out.
I see my Marianne walking away.
Hear all those, see my Marianne walking away. He's got all these big vocals. Listen to how big it is.
I see my Marianne walking away.
Cool. Way. high. You can clearly hear the shift from chest into head. Now, we've talked a lot about at Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy how we want to have the head voice qualities, as we're working on our head voice, match the tonal qualities of our chest voice. And we talked a lot about this bright timbre and this bright ping and so forth. Well, he's taken more of an R&B approach to this. So it's kind of like A Change Is Gonna Come, songs like that, where it's really smooth and there's quite a bit of air, kind of more on the R&B side, where he's not belting it like a rock guy. So he's definitely treating it a lot more gentle and ginger. Listen real close one more time. Check it out. Cool. You hear that? Let's bounce back. Let's move this up a little bit. Here we go. We're almost there. Here we go.
When I'm tired and thinking cold.
Now, do you hear how soft that is? When I'm tired and thinking cold, hiding my music, forget the day. I'm not sure if that's the right lyric. I wrote them down here, but sorry for my bad lyrics if that was wrong, but check this out.
When I'm tired and thinking cold, I hide in my music, forget the day, and dream of a girl I used to know.
Cool. Now, if you listen closely, again, he's not only singing really light, but he's got like at least 2, maybe 3 tracks going on that he's multi-track to make it sound a lot bigger. So it makes it sound fatter and gives it a little more energy than if I were to sing it that light. But what I want you guys to do, my singing friends out there, I want you to sing this with me, and let me explain exactly why I want to do this. This song has been hailed as maybe one of the most difficult songs to sing in all of rock history, okay? All of classic rock history especially. And yet, if you demystify and break down all the elements of the song and you pace yourself through it, you're gonna find that you probably could sing this song. Now, there's definitely some range, no doubt, and I'm not trying to diminish or take away any of the greatness of this song. That's not what I'm doing at all. I just want to show you guys at Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, we talk about all this stuff, how we can break this down a line at a time and you can see yourself doing it. So let me tell you what the lyrics are. It's when I'm tired and thinking cold, I hide in my music, forget the day, and dream of a girl I used to know. And then the end is I close my eyes and she slips away. All right, so let's do this together. I'll sing it first. When I'm tired and thinking cold, I hide in my music, forget the day, and dream of a girl I used to know. Now, notice how sensitive I'm being on that. And I could go over here and I could double track all this stuff and have you listen to it. Wow, that sounds a lot like the original. But since I already sang it and it's in the description, you can hear how I've done it. So it would be exactly how I just now did it. And I'd add some effects similar to what he did, okay? So, but I want you to, I want to break some things down. So do the first line with me. When I'm tired and thinking cold. Now, on that word tired, I kind of roll in almost into a little bit of a mixed voice. Can I sing it in a belted chest? Yes. When I'm tired and thinking cold. Of course I can. But that's not what he does. Listen, he goes, when I'm tired and thinking cold. So he's almost in a little bit of a mix. Hide in my music, forget the day. On the day. The day. He's in a little bit of a mixed voice again. And then you go in and dream of a girl I used to know. He's so sensitive on it. And then he kicks butt and he hits it really hard. I close my eyes, and she slips away. And the rest is history. He hits the one note, she slips away, which we could talk about how to belt out that one note. And then there's some bigger notes at the end we'll go through. But notice there's like 2 compartments to his voice. There's this soft, gentle lower part. There's a mixed voice part, which is a lot of this soft, gentle lower part. And then some very completely and entirely head voice parts that he sings high with a lot of multi-tracking. And if you've ever seen him sing live, you're going to go, oh, wow. When you take away all the production, that's what he really sounds like. Now, again, I'm not diminishing or taking away from Brad. That's not the point of this. I just want to put some flesh and blood on it and make it a little bit more human so it just doesn't sound so unattainable. Let's listen to it one more time and then we'll go into this next section.
When I'm tired and thinking growing cold.
See?
I hide in my music, forget the day,
Valentine.
and dream of a girl I used to know. I close my eyes
See,
and she
close my eyes. Even there on eyes, he's in mixed voice, and then she slips away is a belt to chest, or so it was a G or something. I forget. I think it's a G, but it's not that high of a note at all, right? And then after that,
I close my eyes and she slipped away.
right here.
She slipped away.
Now that's a mix of that slipped away, right? You can hear a mix.
She slipped away.
And actually, again, not to take away from his greatness, but it's a little flat to the track. Yeah, it's a little flat. Listen closely. I know it sounds crazy. I never noticed this stuff before either until I got a chance to solo it and really pick it apart and take a magnifying glass to it. Listen closely. And there's a lot of multi-tracking. So when you multi-track, it kind of randomizes error for pitch. And that's kind of what's going on here. Listen close.
She slipped away.
It's kind of instead of right? Now, maybe not all the voices that are there. There's at least 3 or 4 vocals going on, but there's one of them that's kind of struggling in the track. You can totally hear it. So, whoops.
She slipped away.
Hear that? Now, you can also hear that I think they did an edit on the on the H of ha. So he didn't sing the line contiguously. Now, when I sang it in my version, I didn't get the benefit of checking out all these isolated vocals and knowing that. Otherwise, I might have cheated myself in going through as I'm trying to go, okay, I can take a breath here and I don't have to make this a contiguous line, right? That's what I meant by that. So as you're going through this, as you listen closely, it sounds like there's a breath or it's a different line that they cut and then added later. And whereas, you guys could say, okay, well, Brad didn't sing it contiguously. I could take a breath. So she slips away, and then the next line, you could take a small breath and hit that rather than and then make it one contiguous line. Does that make sense? Let me point it out again so I'm very clear on this. Check it out.
She slipped away.
Hear that? On the wah hey, just before it started, you can hear a little H being thrown in, and it sounds like they did that as an edit. Whereas, if you're singing a song contiguously, you can either take the breath or you could sing it contiguously like I did in my track. But I remember when I went to go do this, I actually had to redo this like 5 times, I think 4 or 5 times until I got a take that I liked, that actually I thought he was connecting it when I could tell he didn't. Listen to it one more time, then we'll go to the end. Hear that? Cool. And then, of course, on the high notes, the guitar comes in behind it and embellishes the high note and makes the vocal sound even bigger. Listen closely, because it's not him. He's got a guitar above it on the top with another melody harmony coming in, or unison and harmony coming in. Check it out. Right? So while he is singing the line, it sounds like in the back, the guitars kind of overtake it. So a long time ago, when I first heard this song, and I think even Rick Beato commented on this one time, I used to think that it was only the guitar that overtook the line and he never really sang the line that high. And after listening to the isolated vocal track, I could clearly hear he did sing the line. It's just the guitar track came in and made it stronger. Okay, so which they also did that other times in the song too. We talked about that already. So let's keep going. And we got the chorus and then the end.
It's more than a feeling. When I hear that old song they used to play, and I begin dreaming till I see
Now, I also know that at the very end of that, they use like a reverb hall that they kind of cut and paste over and over again where it gives this really, really long sensation. So in my version, I decided to man up to it and show you guys it's some really good breath control. So when I sing my version, it literally holds all the way to the end of the song. And it was pretty hard to do that too, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to demonstrate that. So anyway, gang, if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to my channel and check out my next video.